Hey, how's it going everybody? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be discussing the 12 most expensive pennies ever in United States history. We're going to be taking a look at small size US pennies, and the way that I made this list is I looked at the past auction prices and looked at the 12 highest auction prices for an individual specimen and variety. So with that being said, let's get into the video, but I'm really excited. I learned a lot when I was making this video, and I'll be able to provide some background information as well. Number 12 is the 1969 S DDO Double Die Obverse Lincoln Penny with a price of $126,500 and a grade of MS64 by PCGS. And this is the only Lincoln Memorial cent in this top 12, but you can see the doubling on this coin pretty much with your eyes if you've got one. It has doubling clearly in the Liberty and the In God We Trust. And this was originally discovered. The government said that they were counterfeit and ended up destroying, I think it was 5 of them. They were eventually recognized as being very valuable, so it was unfortunate for those 5, but it's pretty much one of the top double dies for this entire denomination. Number 11 is the 1926 S Lincoln Penny, and it's kind of surprising that it made this list, but it's an $149,500 coin in the MS65 grade. And the reason for it is that there's a very small mintage on this coin, one of the top 10 lowest mintage Lincoln cents. And in the 30s, most of the people were getting their coins from circulation to put in their collection, so there are a fair amount of these in the normal circulated grades, but there are very few saved in high uncirculated states like an MS65, so that's where the value comes from. And coming in at number 10, I made it 10 instead of 11 because it was an older coin, but is the 1877 Indian Head Penny. This is the key date for the Indian Head cent series along with 1909 S. Its mintage is slightly higher than the 1909, but that was the last in the Indian Head series, so a lot more people kept very nice condition specimens of the 1909, whereas the 1877, that treatment was not applied. So this MS66 PCGS coin was sold for $149,500 about 10 or 11 years ago, and you want to look out for any 1877, but especially one in this price that's going to command a very high price tag. Number 9, we get a small price increase in the 1914D Lincoln Penny. This coin realized $152,750 in an auction recently, and it was an MS66 plus coin, so very nice grade. And I think the reason was it was another one that very few people actually had in this nice of a condition, so that's the case with a lot of these. It's an individually rare coin, but not a date that too many people saved in great condition. And then apparently, according to one site, the coin was put in a lot of penny boards in the 30s and 40s for coin collecting, and that really damaged a lot of the coins. So, that's how this coin came to be so valuable. At number 8, we have one of the rarer Indian Head cents. It is the 1864 L Indian Head Penny, and it is $161,000 was its sale as a proof 65 red and brown graded coin. There's a little L on the ribbon that can be seen if you look really closely, but the Civil War was going on and very few people were getting these coins and saving them in the uncirculated condition, and it's a proof coin, which adds to its value. This one is super cool. Number 7, we have the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent with a price tag of $164,500, which was realized 6 years ago in a Stax Bowers Galleries auction, and it was an MS63 coin, but there's a pretty cool story behind this, and a lot of the coming ones are errors as opposed to just really well preserved coins. 1943 was supposed to be a zinc and steel plated cent, but there were a couple of mishaps in this process. It was the World War, so they were conserving the metals to use in the war, so they switched to that zinc and steel combo. But a few planchets were struck in 1943. It's a widely counterfeited date as they're so valuable, and you'll see that in the coming coins as well. But that's how this coin got so much value, being an error coin struck as bronze, in 1943 and being in pretty good condition. Number 6, we go back to the very first coin that could have been considered for this as its small cents, and that's the 1856 Flying Eagle cent. There were an extremely limited number of these. I actually got to see one in our coin shop. One came through our doors. I believe it was a proof, though. And this specific coin, however, was a $172,500 coin, MS66, which is stunning. But the Flying Eagle, which is a pretty valuable coin to begin with, was mainly made in 1857 and 1858. About 800 coins, I think, were presented to lawmakers in 1856. This could be wrong, but I think that there were some coronet large head cents that were being made then, so this was just kind of a trial year. But as you can imagine, 150 years later, that's going to make for a pretty valuable coin, especially one preserved at the MS66 level. And coming in at number 5, we have a coin that was in the news pretty recently, the 1943 copper Lincoln penny. So it's not bronze, this one's copper, but the price is $204,000. It was sold at auction about a month ago, or maybe less than that. And this one was in a grade of AU53, about uncirculated 53, which may be the lowest grade on this list. But this was found in lunch change in the 1940s, 1947, I believe. And the person who owned the coin did not really realize that they had a real coin. They always thought that it was real, but everybody the man took it to said it was fake. So upon his passing, it was auctioned off and realized this pretty great amount of money. So it serves as a reminder, and again, you'll be reminded of that more in the coming coins, to check your change carefully and pay extra attention to those 1943 wheat pennies. Coming in at number 4 is a really astonishing coin, 1909 VDB Lincoln penny with a price of $258,500 and a grade of proof 67. But this was the first coin in the Lincoln Obverse series, so that continues to this day. And the engraver, I think it's Victor David Brenner, wanted to put his initials on the bottom of the coin. That was later taken out, but the coins that result are slightly more rare. You probably think of the 1909 SVDB as being one of the most valuable coins out there, but these ones are proof minted, and I think that there were a little less than 1,200 of these made, so it's a lot more rare than the 1909 SVDB. And these proof coins, not all of them survived. Very few, in fact, and none in this type of condition. So when this came to auction, it's not really too big of a surprise, especially given its beautiful colors, that it realized such a big price. And another 1943 error, this one being at the San Francisco Mint, 1943 S bronze Lincoln penny, sold for $282,000 early in February 2016. And this one was an AU58, so not quite as bad condition as AU53, which was the other one, which is still a pretty good, about uncirculated grade. But this one's definitely, not a super shiny one like the proof 67 that we just observed, but it did get more money. That's because it's a very rare coin, and I think that there were fewer of these made at the branch mints like the S Mint than when compared to, a regular 1943. But the next one will be a slightly different variation on this wartime issues with the Lincoln pennies. Number 2 is the 1944 S steel Lincoln penny, and if you are doing a double take because you said, hey, I thought the steel pennies were 1943, you're right, and that's precisely why this coin is so valuable. Like some of the eras where there were old bronze or copper planchets being used in 1943, 1944 had a very limited number of steel cents being struck in that year, with the planchets kind of escaping where they should have been. So this $373,750 MS66 coin is super well preserved and an error that is incredible. That's why I also look for any 44s when I see zinc pennies. It's very rare that you'll find one, but that would be a find of a lifetime if I could, and I enjoy searching them anyways. And additionally, one of the factors that probably makes this a super valuable coin is the absence of any damage or super noticeable damage. It's a sharp strike, meaning that its features are pretty well outlined, unlike the earlier bronze cent, I believe. And with that, let's go to the number 1 coin, and this one is going to be many times the value of the one that we just covered. And that is going to be the 1943D bronze Lincoln penny. So we've been talking so much about this error, but let's break down what makes this coin so much more valuable than the other ones, or at least why it commanded such a high auction price. And that is because the Denver Mint only has one known, so whereas others have a couple of specimens, the Denver Mint, this is literally the only one. I'm not sure exactly what the process was, but it was discovered in 1979 and was eventually sold by Legend Numismatics, the fitting name. And it also has that incredible MS64 grade, which is significantly higher than the AU pieces and makes it a lot more attractive to collectors. That's probably why it commanded that 1.7 million. So I've already talked about why it's rare and that it's a copper penny being minted, but it's also the only one from the Denver Mint, which is why it has that little D below the date, as opposed to the San Francisco, the 1943S, or the no mint mark, which was made in Philadelphia. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm going to be coming out with more videos on the different types of denominations, and I learned a lot when I made this, especially the history behind the coins. Hope you did too. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and stay in contact with me at TreasureTownYT on Instagram or on my website, treasuretownyt.com. If you're interested in sending me a package for me to open up on camera, my address is Treasuretown, P.O. Box 201, Greenwich, Connecticut 06836, and I look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos.